Coach?
Pretty smooth day at the fax machine. Things were a lot better than they were last year with the storm, and it's all kind of passed over. But felt pretty good about the things that we got and the kids that we got. And we signed about 37 kids to our team this year, and we're excited about that. 10 junior college kids and about 27 high school kids. So excited about that. Feel like we got some pretty good players, some pretty good, skill positions as well, and we're looking for, still looking for a few spots, on the D-line, O-line, but we'll get those short up here in the next couple of weeks. And other than that, good day, went well, and pretty excited about our class.
This is a huge class. Did you guys want to sign this many guys?
Every year you want to sign, at least, 25 to 30 kids. 37 is a bonus for us, and we're glad we got that many kids. It adds to your team, and every year you're going to have a few kids drop off, but getting that many kids is exciting for us and showing that there is some interest in Fort Hays State University, and this kid's very nice. They're good for us, and they're going to work out for us.
What was your reception going out there when you're visiting with some of these high school kids and impressions of Fort Hays?
At first they were kind of pulled back, never heard, where's Fort Hays State at, and we had to build those relationships with those kids and really get them to, believe in what we were doing and trust in what we were doing, and just getting back into the high schools, was kind of tough, but those coaches know that we are going to recruit high school kids again, and we're going to get in here in Western Kansas and recruit Western Kansas kids and Nebraska kids and Colorado kids. So we had to build relationships again, which was good for us because we did that in the spring as well, and some last year, but we really solidified those relationships this year in those schools, and that was a bonus for us. And getting into those kids' head and talking to them a little bit and convincing them to come out here was a good job by our coaching staff. They did an excellent job getting kids in here. We had many kids come through here, and some picked us and some didn't, but for the most part, I think we got the kids we wanted.
You have 4, which you might consider local area kids, kind of from the northwest corner of the state. Can you talk about recruiting those kids, and was it harder or easier? I mean, a lot of kids want to go away for college. Is it more of a challenge, less of a challenge?
Those kids were, they were pretty tough. Here and there they had other schools looking at them as well, but just talking to them on the phone and building a relationship with those kids, and going to the school and seeing them and talking with their coaches. I got a great relationship with their coaches as well, so that helped out. And we talked to the kids and talked to them about Fort Hays State and what we have going on here with the new indoor facility and this program going in a different direction. They get pretty excited, and once they hear that and know that they can make a change in this program and help us get to where we need to be here in a few years, that's excitement for them. And it was tough at first, but the more you talk to them, the better the relationship gets, and they feel comfortable with it.
Is this the mix you like between transfers, JUCO, and high school kids?
It is. As the years go on, we'll probably have less transfers than what we had this year. We'll be more high school oriented, as the years go on. But right now we're still a little short on experience, and we got to get some of those kids in here as well. But from here on out, it'll probably be more high school with a few junior college mixed in, not quite as many as we had this year.
I know Terry and Austin had actually played quite a bit for New Mexico. What does he kind of bring for you guys?
Not him. Him and others as well. I know we're going to have some competition this spring and some competition this fall for positions, and that's something that we really need to bring, to our team, is having competition at positions where we haven't had that in the past. So now this will make those guys better, and he really brings a competitive edge to that quarterback spot, and that's going to help us out there and let them compete for it and see who the best player is.
I know, speaking with Hurl this morning from Ellis, he was really impressed with you and the staff as well. Was he a guy who maybe could have gone to KU, a place like that, but he wanted to come
he's probably going to be a walk-on kid at KU, K-State, and eventually maybe earn a scholarship. And it's kind of come down to us in Emporia State, and we had a good conversation with him and his parents. We did the home visit, and things worked out for us. He's a very, very good player, very good kid, and a kid like that we want to keep close to home and keep him here, and that's our goal every year. Zach Binder, same thing, very good player, and we want to keep him close to home and recruit the area kids, because if they're out here, they need to be coming to Fort Hays State, not going anywhere else. And getting the kid from Liberal, Justin McPhail, and Michael Senna, those are 2 very good players as well. We need to keep here in this area, and my goal is to keep these Western Kansas kids home, and that's something I talked about since day one, and I'm doing that, and that's what I want to do.
Any surprises either that you got or didn't get, either way?
We worked hard on these kids. The most kids that we got, we felt pretty good about. The one kid we did lose was Tyler Russellton from Great Bend. He's going to end up going to junior college there at Butler County Community College, and he's a kid that we really pushed for hard. But he wants to go and try to play Division I football, and if those things don't work out, hopefully we get him back here in a few years. But for the most part, these kids that we recruited and got on, we were on them pretty hard from day one, and you know, we felt pretty good about the kids we were getting, and we had pretty good fun that we were going to get these kids.
Coolman from Smith Center, I know even as of the summer thought about walking on at K-State or things of that sort. Was he kind of a light guy? For
Yeah,
you
you know,
guys?
he was kind of a late guy for us as well. You know, he came up with his mom in his hand, and you know, he's just a good player. He's going to be a very good player for us here in a few years. You know, we just got to get some strength on him, some size, and you know, just get him a little bit faster and understand the game of how fast the speed is at Division II football. But I think he's going to be eventually be a very, very good player for us.
With Carney coming in the league, do you have some battles with them for players, maybe more than you even had last year?
We had a couple. You know, they did steal an offensive lineman from us, but I mean, you never know with kids these days on who you're going to get and who you're not. It's where they go when they feel the most comfortable. But you know, we battled a few kids with them, but I think that's the only kid we lost was one, maybe two of them, but we took some as well.
Do you anticipate most of these freshmen redshirting this next year?
My goal is to redshirt him, but you know, if a kid comes in, he's ready to play right now, we'll play him. But you know, he's going to play at least 30, 40 plays a game. If he's not, then we're going to go ahead and redshirt him and get him ready for the next year.
You know, last year's class, Sherrod and Logan, two guys who come in and make an impact right away. Is there a name or two that really pops out as a guy who could really play for you?
You know, I think Travis Alexander will come in right away as a receiver there for us. Torian could be a kid as well, Austin, and just kind of depend on how Shep and him kind of battle for that spot. You know, Jeremy Jones will be a very good fullback for us, and you know, Jared Hurl, Zach Binder, Justin McPhail, those kids are very, very strong and very powerful kids, so they could play early. There's quite a few. Antonio Johnson, another linebacker from Denver, he could play for us early as well. So, and there's a number of kids on this list that, you know, if things work out for them and they're the number one guy, then we'll go ahead and play with them.
Talking about the importance of getting those transfers in that semester so they can participate in spring and everything. I mean, they have a better chance to contribute early than maybe those who come over the summer.
Yeah, because when you get them in some of these, they don't quite understand the system, they don't quite understand what you want, you know, out of them as well. And get them through our spring conditioning and our spring lifting just to get some strength on them, and you know, kind of show them our expectations and what we expect, and you know, just learning our system as well, and just kind of getting comfortable with the coaching staff as well as, you know, a big part of, you know, them becoming very good players for us. But the sooner we get them, the better off they're going to be, because, you know, now we can kind of get them trained the way we do things and learn those things that come in fall and they're not quite sure yet on how things work.
I know a lot of high school kids from the 2009, 2010 classes are no longer here, did for any number of reasons. Did that ever play a role in signing so many kids this year, or was that ever a factor?
No, I just tell our coaches out, go out and get as many as you can. You know, we want to get the best players out there and the best players, you know, in this Midwestern area. And, you know, our guys did that. They really got after it, recruited hard, did a very good job in the Denver area, did a good job in Nebraska, did a good job in Kansas. And, you know, we were out there, and you know, our guys did good. And we just tell them, go get as many as possible. We'll offer the ones that we think need to be offered and see if we can get them.
A lot of skill positions in this year's signing classes. Did you want more offensive linemen, or defensive linemen, or you feel okay there?
You know, I feel we need to get another defensive tackle. We didn't get that, so we're still going to be able to search for that as well. You know, I think D-end-wise we're set pretty good now. O-line, we probably need to get another high school O-lineman, maybe two of those. But, you know, maybe another safety as well, you know, at the outside position. But I feel, you know, a lot of these kids can do things for us on special teams as well. And I think you can't have enough of those guys, that linebacker and outside backer and safeties. All those guys can play special teams for, and that's what makes your special teams very, very good, is getting kids like that. So, you know, there is a lot of skill, but we need those kids, and we need those kids to, you know, for competition and practice, and guys battling for the #1 spot. And when you get that, your team gets better. If you got a kid, you know, going to practice and he knows he has a spot, then he's not going to get any better and push himself. So this really helps us out and really solidifies the depth that we need, and, you know, get some of those kids on special teams really helps us out.
You know, last year you had roughly 2 months to sign a full class. This year, you know, a full year. Was it much easier in year 2 versus maybe it was last year?
Year 1 was just fast and furious. This year I feel a little more stress on me, you know, because you have so many kids coming in. You want to make sure you get the right kids in as well. But I feel this class was pretty good, and I feel our coaches did a very, very good job. But, you know, it was a little stressful, you know, especially when it came down to the very end, you know, whether a kid was coming or not. But, you know, it was easier because we got to evaluate these kids a little bit better than we did last year.
Kids that are still here in the program, I mean, how's the off season gone now that you've kind of gone through a cycle of a season and getting them for the full off season? You've been happy with how they've worked?
Yeah, I am. We kind of upped the ante a little bit too, made it a little bit tougher for them, and we told them that just to see what we can get out of them, and see what type of hearts they have, and mental toughness as well. So, but they've met every challenge so far. They work hard, and they're good kids, and they do everything you ask them to do. And we keep getting kids like that, this program's going to be very successful.
Any other questions?